Okay, this is my top. I was going to do my top 10, but there were just too many of them. So this is my top 20 buddy movies. My top 20 favorite buddy movies of all time. Okay, starting off, you have 48 Hours. This is in no particular order. 48 Hours. Great movie. Let me start off by saying this. A buddy movie to me is when you have two people, guy and guy, guy and girl, girl and girl, whatever. You've got two people that are being put in a situation where they have to work together for a common cause. Most times they're opposites or they just don't plain like each other. And that to me is a buddy movie. So 48 Hours. You've got the cop and you've got the convict working together. This is probably the premier buddy movie of all time. Life. Eddie Murphy again. This time he's with Martin Lawrence. And they're together and they're doing time in the big house. They don't like each other, but they have to work together for a common cause. That's to get out. Lethal Weapon. You've got Riggs and Murtaugh. You've got the police officer who's by the book and he's almost out. And for some reason he's almost out for like 4 or 5 movies, but he never actually gets out. And then you've got the cop that doesn't care about his life anymore. His wife and kids gone, and he just doesn't care. So he's a wild card. Wild card. Let's Do It Again. One of my favorite collabos with Sidney Poitier and Bill Cosby. These two are dynamic together, and in this movie, they take a scrawny J.J. Walker and they make him a fighter, an actual fighter. He's a contender for the belt. And they place a bet with the mob, which you should never do. And they both have to become an alter ego. Mongo Slade. They have to both become Mongo Slade, and that just the costumes that they wore was hilarious. The Defiant Ones with, again, Sidney Poitier and Tony Curtis. A good movie. And this one, the differences is one is of African American descent and one is Caucasian. And they don't like each other simply because of those facts. It was done a long time ago, so that's how the world turned back then. And they're handcuffed together. They fall off a transport and escape. And now they have to escape, but they don't like each other, but they're handcuffed together, so they have to work together. That's a good movie. Tango and Cash. Kurt Russell and Sylvester Stallone. Great movie. Two good cops that have completely differing tactics, and they start off not liking one another either, but they have to work together. Stir Crazy, that's Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, and they're just a dynamic team. They're a great team together. They get locked up in jail and have to work together to get out of jail. They're wrongly, falsely accused. Rush Hour. You've got the fast-talking cop, streetwise, and then you've got the rigid cop from China that have to get together and form a bond of sorts in order to solve a case, and they become like brothers after that. MIB, Men in Black. That was Tommy Lee Lewis and Will Smith. They actually made a pretty good team together. I'm surprised they didn't do other movies together. But they're the covert operating team for the world that defends the world against aliens from outer space. Showdown in Little Tokyo. Showdown in Little Tokyo puts Brandon Lee and Dolph Lundgren together, two actual martial artists, and one of them is a big, tall, white guy, and one of them is a little, short, Asian guy. So that's essentially the differences. Brandon Lee is a surfer type, and Dolph Lundgren is a strict, by the rules, kind of a almost militant martial artist. And they actually work together. I enjoyed that movie. Silver Streak. Gene Wilder and Richard Pryor together again. They were masters of the buddy movie. One of them is an author, and one of them is a streetwise car thief. You figure out who was who. Batman, the movie, one of the first Batmans, with Adam West and Burt Ward. That was back in the days when you'd see pow, bang over their head when they fought. That was a good movie. Use the shark repellent. Hilarious. Uptown Saturday Night. I've actually heard that they're probably going to try to redo that movie. That is a great idea. So what would you do if you found that your ticket was a winning lottery ticket? You would try to cash it in. Unless, of course, you got robbed the night before going to a club that your wife told you not to go to, and you went there anyway, and now you lost the ticket, man. Sidney Poitier, Bill Cosby, in a dilemma. Got to get their winning lottery ticket from the mob, but there's 3 mob factions in town, so it leads to some hilarious fun. Bowfinger. Steve Martin and Eddie Murphy, 2 of the funniest people ever, if you ask me. And they're teaming up together to make a movie. Eddie Murphy's in the movie twice as his twin brother. And one of the twins is gung-ho for the movie. The other one doesn't even know what's going on. You have to watch that movie. The Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers I put on the list of my top 20 because I really dug the movie. But they were kind of working together to begin with. Nothing forced them to work together. But it is 2 guys on a mission from God. So, yeah. Alien Nation. You can't get too much more different than a cop from Earth who's going through his own battles and an alien from another planet that has to work together in order to figure out what's going on. Sort of a la I Come in Peace, but different. I think this one was better. I like both movies, but I think this one was done a lot better. Bad Boys. What you gonna do when they come for you? Will Smith and Martin Lawrence play 2 Miami police officers. Martin Lawrence is thinking about quitting the force. Will Smith figures this is our last mission together. Let's go out with a bang, literally, pow. So they're chasing criminals, trying to get back millions of dollars of drugs that were stolen right from the police force. Kind of encourages Martin to stick around for a little while. Good movie. I think the first movie where Will Smith actually cusses, but it was needed in the movie. It made it a slightly more gritty comedy, but it was a good show, good movie. The Last Boy Scout. A down-on-his-luck detective and a football star, who actually is ousted and given the boot. They have to work together because of common interests. That was a good one too, actually. That was pretty good. Damon Wayans and Bruce Willis. That was not a bad movie. I thought it was going to turn into a TV series, really, but it did not. Missed opportunity. Thelma and Louise. You can't really have a buddy list without mentioning a couple of particular movies, and Thelma and Louise is one of them. I personally would not have driven off the edge of a mountain knowing how the judicial system works. I mean, I get a good lawyer, you're probably going to get less time, maybe even off. I mean, who knows? You'll definitely get better than falling off the side of a mountain blowing up. But yeah, Thelma and Louise, that was a good one too. And finally, we come to our last, and this is in no particular order, but Training Day, when Ethan Hawke and Denzel Washington are on screen together. They're dynamic. They're Hollywood's dynamic duo. They're going to be together again in another movie coming up, The Magnificent Seven. And they're going to do that movie together. And I'm just looking and hoping for the same type of chemistry. They worked really, really good together in that movie. The whole thing. You know, I'm going to come over there. I'm going to get that money. And then I'm going to get that gun. Jay. That's a funny movie. You got to see it. It's funny because of the arrogance of Denzel Washington and the naive of Ethan Hawke, who in the course of a day goes from being completely naive to being almost a murderous killer. That's all I'm going to give away about that movie, but that was a great movie. So, if you enjoyed my top 20, if you enjoyed the top 20 and you think I missed something that should have been in there, or I added a movie that should not have been in the top 20, let's talk about it. Right down here. Right there where my face is. Click my face. Click my face and subscribe. And then like. Or don't like.